So let's go back into when you met me.
Absolutely.
And, we started, kind of doing this together. I liked your songs. I liked the way you attack. I like everything that we brought to that in the inception. We actually pieced it together. It was like, Cody wasn't the first bass player. It was Kyle, my nephew. And then Nick wasn't the first drummer. It's Alex Bent, who actually plays in Trivium now. And he did a stint in Dragon Lord. We kind of helped him. I would say we helped him on his ladder to that, because if we told Juan.
And Juan's who shopped him.
And Juan was the one who told Eric for Dragon Lord, and then I think he did a couple of gigs with Testament.
He did.
And it went from there. So,
but not for nothing too. It wasn't just because he got shopped. His drum skills.
Oh, I'm not taking anything away from Alex, but I just have to say that
we helped a little bit.
We played here first. Sorry. Just the way it is. We're going to take our credit where credit's due.
Right?
Fuck them, right? You know what I mean? It's the truth. And that's why I only tell everybody who's watched my show up to now, this is how it happened, and this is the truth, and this is the way it goes. So we kind of kept it in the vein of very Exodus-y, Testament-y, Metallica-y,
When I was writing Heroes of Origin, I was just looking at a fan point of view. You hadn't been on, a thrash record since Tempo of the Damned.
Right.
There was Tenet, but that was more on the death metal
side. And this is 2010. This is 2010. Yeah. So it's been 9 years now. Yeah. Amazing.
Crazy. So when I was writing it, I was just like, I'm going to write a Testament sounding song or an Exodus sounding song. The first album was easier for me to write because you couldn't fail. It was just like,
well, no, I mean, and the songs on that that album is, to me, that I love that record. Every song on that album, when we released Weapons of Class Destruction, and everybody thought we were back, and there was like, what's up, Zetro's got this, and it was good, and people are commenting like, I hope this must just be the best song, because they always give you the best song, and then to know that it came out, and then it just seemed like at that point, our guitar part seemed to revolve. That door revolved for a minute there. Alex was solid for a few years, but he did go on tour with a band called Archaic, and that put a hinder on it. I mean, Alex's whole thing is he wants to get, obviously the best what's for him, and he played with us, and he did a great job, but that kind of held us back. But Kyle didn't last that long, so then
2 months.
We brought Cody in. We had Drew, that was just like,
oh boy,
like the Fuhrer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And again, where are you now? You know what I mean?
I quit for 2-3 months because of Drew.
That's how bad it was. I had Glenn Alvarez.
Yeah, Glenn filled in the first Hatriot show for me.
I just was like, ugh. It was just like, this thing is not really working. But we got it back in the pocket. We did go through a few. Miguel was very solid.
Great.
Very solid. I was hoping it would work with Miguel, but again, it didn't go with Miguel. And then we got Colossal. Brought Colossal in the mix, and he was out. Then we had Sakagalian, who was a shredder, but another Alex thing. I'm gonna go play with this band on tour and this band on tour and band on tour, so I can't play with you guys now. And it's like, I need all of your chips in my basket, not in everybody else's basket. And then I left because I went back to Exodus, and then Cody started singing. You brought Colossal back, and then Colossal did second time, couldn't pull it off. And then now you have Kevin Patterson, which we'll talk about. We're actually going to talk to Kevin later this week in the week-long celebration of Hatriot from Days Unto Darkness. We're doing a week-long celebration here, folks. And so, going back to that, basically it was you and I writing the songs. You wrote all the riffs and all the leads, and I wrote all the lyrics. I came up with the song titles. And that's kind of how it worked. And it
fail-proof.
It was. And I think that if you look at the first two Hatriot albums, they differ very much from each other. You can definitely see the maturity progression on Dawn of the New Centurion compared to Weapons of Class Destruction, Globicidal, just anything on anything on the first record that was, like the first things we wrote. You know what I mean? It was so like we've got to be in your face, and it was very raw album. And in your face.
It was like an old Exodus record. That's what I was.
Very much so. The sequencing, just everything. The song, the lyrical subjects were just very, all over the map. Suicide Run's about a couple of years ago in the Bay Area. That guy, remember, he was in the car,
yeah,
and he was just running people, or he was just driving from city to city. He started in Fremont, California, and he was just running pedestrians over until the cops, corralled him, and they shot him and killed him because it was the only way to stop him. So he was basically on a suicide run, and he was taking every motherfucker with him. So it was in the vein of obviously Exodus and Testament and the thrash metal that I had been a part of in the past. So it fit well with my voice, and I think it worked out really well. Talk about what it was like recording your first record. Because I had done them before, you know what I mean? And
the first record, I just remember us rehearsing that whole month before every day. We ran through it twice. So by the time I was recording it, I was just like, all right.
Second nature, though.
Yep.
But looking back in hindsight,
exciting.
Wasn't that the best way to do it?
Oh, absolutely.
So we were so prepared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it took me like 2 days maybe to do all my guitar stuff, solos and everything. It was like I had it in back pocket. It was
yeah, everybody was wet and for
fine tuned.
And talk about working with Juan, because we love to work with Juan.
I love Juan. Yeah, from this album all the way, from the album we just did all the way back to Heroes, love Juan.
Yeah,
it's great.
And I think he brings a lot out of you, and he knows how. And that's what's good about. So if you're working with a producer, or you're working with a sound guy or an engineer, and he can click on your bass, and you guys are calling each other stupid names, or you have stupid sayings during the process, and somebody else walks in and doesn't get it. Don't you guys call him a name? There's a name.
We're all Purnell.
All of us. Purnell. Everybody's fucking Purnell. And it's like you walk in. All right, get out there, do it again, Purnell. All right, Purnell. It's like, if you have that with your producer, then you've made him one of you guys, and it's going to be awesome. Everything is going to be fucking awesome. Now, we didn't really tour all that much for Heroes. We tried to secure a booking agent, but we really couldn't get any run on them.
I know.
We were with Massacre Records, which isn't the biggest record label, but they're a credible record label. I think they've done a good job.
It's been good to us so far.
So our focus wasn't really on touring. Our focus was, let's do Dawn of the New Centurion.
Yeah.
So
give them another one.
So Heroes of Origin was released in February of 2013, and we released Dawn of the New Centurion in February of 2014.
Oh yeah, it came out here in April because of the storms.
Right. But because it's a German label, it came out in 12 months after the last one was released. Now nobody really does that anymore, but I think we had the luxury of that because we didn't tour really. So, and my take was, let's just go hit it again.
Yeah.
So showing now we've all played together for a while. You know what I mean? Nick's been in the band for probably a year, because Nick showed up, it was a month later, I think. You're on, start playing drum tracks. So, sink or swim. That's how he learned how to swim. We'll get into that some other time. And I think that the musicianship on Dawn of the New Centurion, and the writing and the production, everything took a total level, the next level, like you seen this was going to that. And what was your attack? What was going through your mind on the attack when we were going in there?
On Dawn, it was more of I have to be better than Heroes, but also this is my first album where I'm doing all the solos too, because Miguel had just left.
Right, Miguel had just left.
So I had a lot to prove. I had to just... That was the album I had to show that I am the real deal.
Because Colossal did not play on that album.
Joined shortly after that,
right. He's pictures on it, but he did not play on it.
It was just me having to do everything and just make it the best it
And
could
I remember
possibly
that
be.
year I was like, come on. No, you need to write like 3 more. We need to get going. We want this thing done. So from February of 2013 till, we wrote, recorded, and packaged a new fucking record in 12 months and put it out. Now, we did do a Europe tour.
We did.
Which was cool. We played Eindhoven Metal Meeting, which is a festival that they have in Eindhoven, Holland, which is one of my favorite places in the world to play. It's at a place called the FNR.
Still have my drink chips.
You do? It's a great little square in Eindhoven from the Dynamo. One of my favorite places to play in the fucking world, and we killed it on that festival. I don't think anybody. Our name was little on the shirt and the poster. We didn't have even get our logo on there, but boy, after we were done, they were like, "What the fuck?" And then we did a couple shows in Germany.
I know.
And one in Belgium, right?
We did one in We did 2 in the Netherlands and 1 in Belgium.
That's right.
We did the Scum Club the next day.
That's right. We did the Scum Club.
And then we did that place in Belgium. Rosalaire, I think?
Yeah, Rosalaire. It was a little pub. Yeah. Good shows, though.
It was awesome.
All good shows. So we did do a little bit of touring right before Dawn of the New Centurion came out. And then it came out, and 3 months later, you're looking for... Well, it wasn't initially you were looking for a new singer. It started that way. I started to do it, and then we got so busy it wasn't feasible to hold. I wanted to be like, Alex had held us, hostage. That's why I felt on some of those things that he wanted to go do. I felt Sakagala the same way, and so what I did was, the boys came to me and said, "Hey, Cody wants to do this, and why don't you just go ahead and do?" Basically, got fired by my kids. And so everybody knows that story. Ask Exodus. They laugh their asses off. Ask Gary Holt. He has fun with that story. And so everyone, Tom will be like, "Zet, tell everybody how you got released. Tell them how your kids fired you." And it's like,
it's not you, it's us.
No, it was me. They handed me a piece of paper, and that's when they said that, Cody is going to be the new singer. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, tell you what, I'll go with this. I'm all down. Go into the studio with Juan, wipe the vocal out, and then do it. And obviously it's history. And we'll talk to Cody about that on Cody's episode this week on All Hatriot all week long. And so now it's been 5 years. So you should be nominated for a fucking Grammy because it's been 5 years and you've had a lot of time to write. I know a lot of the time was spent Cody making the transition from my son was just the bass player on the last 2 records. Yeah. And I don't mean just the bass player. I mean, all he had to do was play bass. Now he has to play bass and sing. And he had to come up with a vocal style that kind of resembles mine, but made it his own. And that took some time.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. And also, I think I needed the time off to really write something that'll make people go, holy shit.
Yeah, I think
this album,
I think this record's full of holy shit all over it.
I knew that if we were going to put an album out without you on it, that it just, no question asked, it has to be better than everything. It just has to be better than everything coming out. It just has to be perfect. It just has to be. And I did my best to get it as close to that as possible.
I think your talent is, if it hasn't been, well, if it's been very much if it's been overlooked on the last 2 records, this is undeniably the guitar work, everything on it. But I mean, the guitar work here is just beyond, and it's really one of those things where you're like you're right now. You're how the fruit is right and it's perfect and it tastes sweet. That's where you're at right now, man. Especially where your age, the way you're playing, it's like you're ripe right now. You're fucking ready for the picking. And I think that I mean, I am just so happy for this record. I wanted this. No, to me, I had to have this record better than what I did with the band, because it's, again, another progression of getting better and going in so many other musical directions on this record. You know what I mean? There's a lot of death metal stuff because Cody can sing that. Talk about when you were writing this stuff together. What kind of stuff? I mean, like you said on Heroes of Origin, we're just going to go back with the old school thrash. So, what were you looking at? What were you listening to when you're writing this? What was? Because usually when somebody's writing something, there's something else that's inspiring that. What was that?
There were 3 albums that really changed the pace of my writing over those years. Obviously, Death Symbolic, I'm not going to put it in those 3 because I listen to that album all the time, and Rain in Blood, I listen to that album all the time. But the 3 albums that really changed it, Decapitated Organic Hallucinosis, that eerie just heaviness of that album definitely just added something into the mix, and that's helped me write a whole bunch of those songs too. Just that extra.
I love Decapitated.
That extra death metal edge definitely comes from them. The other one actually came from Meshuggah's very first album, Contradictions Collapse.
So you were listening to a lot of that album itself.
Yeah, that album itself.
Uh-huh.
And then the third one. And then the third one was I had to get my chops up, and there's an old hair band called Shotgun Messiah. And
I remember them. They were a combat band. I remember them.
And their guitarist, Terry Cody, has the wildest solos ever. So I started learning a lot of his licks, and I incorporated that in my style. And
well, see. Well, regardless, there ain't no hair metal on this album. Nothing. So however it took you to get the piece of, they're together, you've been, this one is it, man. This one is the one.
I hope so. I think this product is the best one we've put out, and like I said, there was no choice. It had to be the best. It had to be. We had a lot to prove on this album.
So now, in the writing process, are we going to wait another 5 years for another Hatriot record? Or is next year, I'm going to be able to go in, it's Hatriot all week, all in? Or is it going to do, I'd say 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years, 3 years at tops.
I've
got room to talk right now.
I don't have any time frame.
But you're going to continue writing. Oh, yeah. We're not going to take this fucking 5-year hiatus.
I have 2 songs written already.
Okay, so there you go. You got 2 more than Exodus has written right now together. So it's coming, folks. Promise.
It'll win a Grammy, right?
I hope so. I hope so. Anyway, the wait's been anyway. That is just amazing, So now, where can people? You're on Massacre Records, and I know that you do. This is amazing. You give guitar lessons, right?
I do give guitar lessons. I actually just started doing that.
And believe me, he knows how to teach just because he's a player. And there's a lot of good players out there that don't know how to teach, and there's a difference. So let everybody know where they can get a hold of you to teach. So you're in the Bay Area, but you can do Skype lessons, right?
I
motherfucking PayPal.
Yeah. I prefer to do lessons over webcam just for the convenience of it all. Just find me on social media and send me a message. I have a few packages out that will get you a few lessons.
We'll put a graphic right here of your social media. What you tell me?
My social media will be Facebook at Kosta Varvatakis or Kosta Sucks at Guitar on Instagram.
I love Kosta Sucks at Guitar. But that's so Hatriot.
I'll teach you to suck like me. I'm just kidding. But send me a message on either one of those, and let's get some lessons going. I have a no bullshit approach. I'm not going to give you a bunch of boring tablature. I'm going to sit there and show you all the tricks of the trade that I learned over my years, and I'm going to show them to you. That's what I want to do. If there's anything you feel like I can teach you, I want to teach it to you. And
believe me, this guy is the next. You know how you look at your guitar gods from like my genre and my era? This is one of them now. Not just a player, I mean a composer.
I try.
Well, it's going to be all Hatriot all week long. Good to have you in here to tell everybody what the fuck was going on. We know Friday, July 26th, finally it's here.
Damn
From
right.
Days Unto Darkness, Hatriot drops worldwide. They used to do records on Tuesday. They changed it to Friday now. That's a trip.
People are off work.
Friday's
payday.
They get paid. By
Friday's
Tuesday,
payday.
the industry's figured that out. Well, congratulations on a new fucking record. And I guess next year I'll have you back in and we'll be talking about the next record, right?
Damn right.
Right.
I'll do my damnedest.
All right. You guys, leave me comments. Let me know what you think. And obviously get a hold of him for that. And subscribe and share my channel. All right? And if, who do we have in tomorrow? I think Cody. Or after this one's all done, yeah. Cody will be up next because it's all Hatriot all week long here in Zetro's Toxic Vault. See you guys later.